On today's episode, I'm going to be replacing my stock front camber arms with these really nice, beautiful looking Hardrace pieces thanks to RHD Performance. Alright you guys, so I'm really excited about this. And just to give you all a quick overview, because I know there are a lot of new people who are on this channel. This is my Project EG track car. It is only a track car, okay? I do not run it on the street. It just goes to the racetrack where I beat it up. I really want to replace my old tired front camber arms, and in fact the whole suspension is going to be getting an overhaul here. I've got some really wicked coilovers coming thanks to my sponsor RHD Performance, and same thing with all these Hardrace parts here. I'm getting them all through RHD Performance. So if you guys haven't in a while, check out their website again. Terry has uploaded a whole bunch of new parts and the website is really looking full, really looking great. Go ahead and check them out. They're always running specials. You can see the link below in the description. And if you guys don't mind, you like our channel, go ahead and pick up a sticker. 4x4 vinyl, refined movement sticker, $6 shipped anywhere in the world. Thank you so much to everyone who's bought them already. Alright, so let's take a look at this guy. I mean, goodness, this blue looks so freaking good in person. I hope it comes across in the camera, but it just looks awesome, man. Brand new hardware, who doesn't like that? New bolts, wow, and they're not stripped. Can't say so much for that guy. But so anyway, yeah, looking really, really nice. This is obviously what you need for one side. The kit comes with both sides. Here's some of the hardware for the other side, and the other link is in the box still. But so here we see the adjustment bolt pattern up on the top. You notice here they are labeled for each side. Nice Hardrace sticker there. Yeah, I mean, they just look great. You know, I know some camber kits, like I think the ones that Trav has, they actually adjust from the bottom, and that may make it easier in an alignment shop, but I mean, it's an alignment shop, so I think it's gonna be just fine with them trying to do it from the top as well. But so here you see we have new castle nut, brand new threads, new ball joint. This is what I really am looking forward to. And this is why. Look at this ball joint up in here. This thing looks like toast. And that's my obviously stock front camber arm. I'm on the passenger side right now. I'm gonna be pulling that thing down. I mean, of course it looks gross. It's 26 years old probably. Got a ton of gunk on it. But that ball joint has definitely seen better days. And the bushings up in the back there, I'm sure those can be replaced. Did y'all notice the new cart too? Got the Cobalt Craftsman, they don't match, hey, whatever. Got a ton of junk on here. As you see, I was running out of space. And of course, that's disgusting. I'm embarrassed by that. But I gotta just clean that up. This is a ton of parts, man, from everything that's been going on lately, if you've been following my channel. Couple distributors, VTEC solenoid, thermostat housing. I mean, I've got just random parts in here that I need to kind of catalog, and I want to go ahead and distribute them at the bottom of this cart. I'm really, really happy with this thing, man. My father-in-law, Carl, got this for me, and thank you so much, Carl. I absolutely love it. It looks so nice, and it gives me much more room to work with here. And yeah, obviously nothing is in it at the minute. It is very brand new, but very happy to have that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the passenger side. Let's go ahead and pull out that old front camber arm, and then we'll be able to compare the two pieces. And here are all the tools that I believe I need. Just a standard socket set with various sizes. I'm gonna be using my impact gun to go ahead and blast those two nuts off up on the top. And those are 17 millimeter, and then a hammer here, because you always need a hammer. All right, so the first thing I'm actually gonna be doing is messing around down here. We're gonna go ahead and loosen up this castle nut, and this is a 17 millimeter. I would love to try to get the gun down in here, but I believe the arm is gonna be in the way, so we're gonna have to use the standard wrench with the 17 on it. Just break this guy free and leave everything tight up there right now, and then we're gonna go ahead and loosen this and kind of pop this ball joint away from the knuckle here. That was pretty easy. I was thinking it was going to be like really stupid. All right, now what I've read is that you want to go ahead and leave this castle nut on here because we have to break free this ball joint from this arm here because it's been sitting there for a long time and the weight of the car pressing on it, it's pretty stuck, supposedly. Let's see. But so you leave the castle nut right on here on the bottom, and that's where we're going to use the hammer and actually hit it up and then kind of break this ball joint free. Let me show you. So here we got the castle nut, and you see how you can't see any threads below it anymore? We're going to be hitting this part of the castle nut, and I don't really care if I damage it or the threads really, because obviously I have the new piece up there, but I just need to break this ball joint away from this part. So we're going to take Mr. Hammer here and just give it a wata right there. All right, so you kind of, you know, it's a weird angle, but I'm just going to bam right up in there. All right, so the hammer is not doing it. I was, you know, leaning into it, but it is kind of a weird angle. You can see up in there, it's still in there, very good. So I'm gonna go ahead and try my handy dandy ball joint separator now. Get it. So if you don't have one of these, it is very good tool. It's like 10 or 15 bucks from Harbor Freight or your local auto parts store. And yeah, it makes life so much easier when you're trying to remove these frickin' things. Look at that old ball joint, man. Shot. All right, so now that that is broke free, we need to go ahead and drop this whole piece so that we can get to the two bolts on either side there with the bushing. And the way to do that is to come up to the top of the tower here, and you'll see on either side of the coilover where it bolts up, you got other two bolts. Now this is specific for EG and I believe Integra, but we're gonna go ahead and take these guys off. Those are 17 millimeters, and then we'll be able to drop the rest of the front camber arm down. All right, just using the gun to make quick work of these bolts, 17 millimeters up top. Woo. All right, so you can see up in there how it is dropped a little bit. You see that white part on the right, and then you can see a gap on the left there where the front camber arm has started to drop. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this top part here from this arm. Move that guy out the way. And then we can try to pull this. There we go, down more. And I can go ahead and get to these bolts now and break those free. All right, so we got this guy right here, which is a 14. On this side, I'm gonna use my 15 open-ended, or the crescent part. You gotta hold that down and then blast that side with the 14. And that got it. Old bolt out, nut's still stuck in there. And then I should be able to take this guy out. Actually, I'm gonna wait on that a sec. Let's get this other side here first. All right, so this is just the other side of the camber arm. Again, using my 15, holding the inside nut, 14 for the outside. All right, so it was pretty hard to fit the impact gun in there. I'm gonna try here with my standard wrench. Hopefully this thing's not too ridiculous. Nah, I get it. And when your light is falling, that's no fun, because YouTube life. Sorry if you guys can't see that so well, but bolt came out, nuts should be free. All right, so we got the nuts free on both sides. Now what I'm gonna do is just kind of wiggle this arm out of the bearing. And you just, voila. Sorry, that's my light dangling there. Pull the arm out. Hooray. Okay, so the coilover here is still in the way. You could try to feed this thing out around. I don't know if you're gonna get it or not. There's just a couple bolts holding the coilover on up at the top here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and unbolt those, drop this down a bit so that I can kind of pull it out of the way, and then that'll help me put the new one in a lot easier as well. And all right, so that's out. Okay, so pretty dramatic, right? This is possible and likely 26 years old, came with the car. This is brand spanking new. So, of course, appearance-wise, yeah, totally different, very dramatic. Hardrace pieces look amazing. You know, you got brand new bolts, brand new hardware, brand new rubber bushings inside of here. Here's the old bushings. And to be honest, they don't look terrible. I mean, they've been on there forever, so they look gross, yes, but the bushings themselves, you see a little crack there. I mean, yeah, that doesn't look so great, does it? So, yeah, I mean, it's just time. And since this thing is a full-on race car now, that's its only job, we need nice, new, strong pieces. And that brings me to my next point. On closer inspection, these guys right here are a stamped steel. You can see where it was likely one sheet of a metal, it was cut to shape, and then something comes down and kind of presses it into shape. Whereas the Hardrace piece, this is a tubular design right here. They're just totally different in construction compared to this stamped steel. And I will say, this piece does feel better. Like it has more girth to it, more strength. Look at the nice welds on this thing. I mean, that is like freaking welded on there. These pieces are not flexing. Whereas this guy right here is likely gonna flex a lot more because, to be honest, it does feel lighter, but not so much lighter that it's like, oh my God. But this thing is definitely feeling stronger. So aside from the brand new bushings and all, maybe the more important thing to focus on here is the tops of these. See, the stock piece is not adjustable. This Hardrace piece, as well as many other aftermarket pieces, are going to be adjustable. These here can be loosened up and slid into position, changing the camber. And now I can tell my alignment guy I want a certain spec, and he can get it done for me on this Hardrace piece. Whereas the stock ones can't move. They can't be adjusted. So then we'll go ahead and flip this guy over, and you'll see the final component of these is the brand new ball joint on this Hardrace piece. Brand new castle nut, new threads. Man, I love the look of that. And then here we got the old and busted, and it's been on there for a minute. So, but look at that ball joint. That thing is like a pancake, man. It's just practically non-existent. And then look at this guy. See the difference? I mean, come on. So, of course, there are so many different pieces out there for these aftermarket deals. And I know a lot of guys sometimes buy like cheap eBay arms and then put nice bushings, like Hardrace bushings or whatever, in them. And that's perfectly fine too. Like, I'm not talking bad about anything, okay? It's just, I'm really, really happy with this piece compared to what this stock piece had to offer. I mean, look at that pancake of a ball joint. Look at that. Come on. Okay, so now we're going to be putting the new guy back in. You see how this piece right here is already kind of built, put together. It's really just these three components that I need to go ahead and put together. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do here is go ahead and put these ball joints in their place. You just take the bolt that comes with it, as well as the little lock washer that goes on the inside. We're going to thread that on through and, of course, lock it up. I'm going to use a little bit of anti-seize here on the end of this bolt. I don't think you have to do that. No one says to do it, but I don't know, man. I am a fan of anti-seize and putting this stuff on just a little bit because, yeah, I've dealt with enough stuck bolts. Okay, so we got a bit of anti-seize going on there. Now I'm just going to thread this guy on through. The bolt head goes on the outside. So imagine this is in the car. This is the front of the car here. We're going to go ahead and feed this on through. This right here is where, of course, the coilover goes. I have my bolt, or I have my nut here. We'll go ahead and thread that on. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and flip this guy up like it's sitting in the car. And I'm going to go ahead and use my 14 and my 15 and go ahead and tighten it down. All right, now I got this other side. Put the ball joints on in. Again, just a little dab of my anti-seize because I'm cool like that. Y'all do what you want. And then I have the nut to go on the inside again. Bolt head goes on the outside. Feed that on through. Tighten it up just a bit. Go ahead and place it in the up position, just like this other guy. Let's go ahead and place this brace on here too, just for right now, to kind of make sure they're in the same spot. And they are. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my 15 to hold on to the bolt. And then the 14 on the outside. Okay, so now I have these two guys loaded up on there and tight. Now there's this other piece here, this little brace. This thing is like pretty flimsy. Like it's the same on the stock one. Like I'm pretty sure it's there just as a washer really between this part of the bushing housing here, if you want to call it that, and the body of the car. So it sits on there kind of like this. But the thing is, you'll see on the inside here, or on the lower part here, it's got kind of these ridges and grooves. Now it won't just press down over that. And I'm looking at it like, what the heck? Now I think what's gonna happen is once you put it up in there and run the bolts down into it, it's gonna kind of lock this thing into place. If you'll see here on the old system that was in there, you see those threads right up there on the top, and this thing won't come off, man. So it kind of just keeps everything stable, and so, you know, I want to go ahead and use it. So what I'm going to do is just kind of put that up in the car, and like I said, as I'm bolting it down in the shock tower, I think it's going to pull this part down over top of these ridges here, locking it into place. So now also leaving this like this at the moment, it's going to help me to feed it around the coil over here. Just kind of put it into place, and then I can put this little brace over top of it, just kind of feeding it behind the coilover. Gonna make it much easier. I finally got that up in there. You can see how that brace is kind of what's holding it there right now. Sorry guys, this is my light. But so yeah, the brace is just kind of holding it up there right now. I'm gonna feed those two bolts up through the holes there, and then we'll go ahead and lock it down. Looks pretty sweet. And because I know some of you are wondering, yes, it does have very good travel going up. I do not think that it is gonna bump at all. But anyway, this thing is never gonna be that low in the first place. But I know some people have said these bolts could impact the top of the shock tower there. I don't think there's any way that's gonna happen, man. There's plenty of travel in there. By using my jack under the lower control arm, I'm gonna put this up into what should be ride height, and then we'll go ahead and try to connect up everything up there. And okay, so that looks about good to me there. Gonna see the where I can put the cotter pin at the bottom, and the tops look good. That's about at ride height, I would say, for now. So one thing I wanted to mention that I did find out by doing under there is, you see these little splines right here that I was telling you about? This hole won't just go over top of them. It stops right there if you just go ahead and put these things on. But so as I went over here and I started to drill down these nuts here, I noticed that this part started to move over top of those splines. And so really what I did was just go back and forth slow. A little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there, so that these two planes right here sit perfectly flush with both ball joints on the sides. As you're drilling it, it kind of just works its way down over top of those. And it's sitting flush like that up in there now. Okay, so everything is looking very good. This is the projected ride height for right now, and everything is looking like it's gonna button up just fine. I can put the castle nut back on. The two ball joints for the camber arm are bolted up properly up in the shock tower in the engine bay. And that's actually where I'm gonna leave it for now in this episode. So here's what we're looking like. It looks pretty awesome, man. I love it. So this is the point where I would take the new castle nut here and go ahead and put that up. and then you use the cotter pin to thread it through. And then of course, go get an alignment if this is the only job you're doing. Y'all remember before I did these inner and outer tie rods. Now I have not connected these up fully yet, obviously, right? There would be a cotter pin through there. This would be tight down and everything. But so that just kind of goes to show you that I am still working in this general area. We have new Hardrace inner outer tie rods. I got the new Hardrace front upper camber kits. Next thing I'm gonna be doing is the front lower ball joints. So that means I need to go ahead and remove this whole arm right here. And so for that reason, I am not gonna connect this up just yet, just like I haven't connected up here. I'm going to be taking these out, and really that just eliminates 2 connections that I don't need to make. And there's no need to tighten it down and secure everything right now because I know this is coming back off. And so that's what I have right here is the new Hardrace lower ball joints. These things are gonna go on both sides, of course, just like the front camber kits. And just having a brand new ball joint under there is just going to continue that theme of making everything new and trying to make this car feel great. You know, I'm so used to it being all sloppy and loosey-goosey everywhere. We're gonna stiffen this thing up, and especially with them coilovers coming, it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, you guys. This car is really starting to take shape now. I'm feeling it, I'm getting really excited. Can't wait for those coilovers coming. RHD Performance has been huge in this, you guys. If you've made it to this point in the video, thank you sincerely. Like, I really appreciate y'all watching. And I know some of these kind of videos are not like the big, awesome, like engine swap, coilover, you know, it's just kind of a day in the garage. And, you know, if you enjoy watching these, please let me know. And, you know, I'll know because you made it to the end of the video here. So I sure appreciate it, you guys. You all know who you are. I sincerely thank you all for watching. So talk to you in the comments.